Good morning on day 137 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Well, it's another beautiful day in Washington. I am 2 days out from Snoqualmie and looking forward to a zero there. Today is kind of a special day for me. It's a 13-year anniversary of a time in my life when I received a huge dose of God's grace. And I'll share a little more about that down trail. But it also is a day, if I get that many miles in, where I hit a big milestone on the trail. And it just seems fitting that the two would coincide on the same day. So I will share a little bit more and hopefully we make that milestone today. And I'll see you down trail. So just a couple miles into my hike this morning, I stopped and hung out with a bunch of hikers, and I had my cold soaked oatmeal with them, and I was getting ready to head on trail because remember, I was going to take short breaks. And what happens but not Phil's dad pulls up and starts unloading coolers and chairs and fruit and muffins, and so kind of got sucked into that vortex, but well worth it. I can't believe how blessed we are by the trail magic and the generosity of these trail angels. Not Phil's dad traveled from Seattle to do trail magic for us this morning. So Not Phil's dad, if you are listening, thank you so much. What a blessing. See y'all down trail. Well, I've been climbing for a few miles now, and I'm on the mountaintop, and I figured, where else to share the story of God's amazing grace than from on the mountaintop? So it was 13 years ago today, on this date, that my life came to a grinding halt. I've always been super physical. Nothing's changed there. I was a tomboy as a little girl and played sports and always had physical jobs. And at the time, I was actually running a forklift and throwing wooden pallets around and jockeying trailers. I had just finished 5 ice hockey games. I was on a women's hockey team in 2 days, and shortly thereafter, I had some strange symptoms, which took me to the hospital, and I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And they thought everything would be fine, but there was some inflammation after the surgery, and so things did come to a grinding halt. This very physical gal had trouble walking, couldn't do steps at all. My speech was slurred. I looked like a stroke victim. My face was very droopy. Anytime I ate anything, I would bite my tongue. Just had no coordination. My left hand wasn't working at all. And here I was, laying in the fold-out couch in the living room because I couldn't do steps. And I had a friend come and visit me. And she looked so upset to see me like this. And she's like, Jane, what can I do? What can I do to help you? And I said, Deb, you don't understand. I said, I wouldn't trade places with anyone in the entire world right now. So here I am, taken to a grinding halt. This very physical gal couldn't do a thing, but I was so content where I was because I felt like I had the arms of Jesus wrapped around me. I have never felt so much love in my life. I told you I couldn't tell this story without crying. God's grace was amazing at that time in my life, and so I had to share that. I knew I'd be bawling, but God is good. The whole experience, I had total peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding when I was wheeled into that room for surgery. And it was the most amazing time of my life. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So it's God's grace that took me through that time of my life. And it's God's grace that has brought me this far on this trail. See you down trail. Well, I was just thinking about picking some berries for my lunch, and I ran into Paula and Ro, who had buckets of blueberries. They must have been picking for hours. I asked them if they were using a rake, one of those scoopers that they use on berry farms, and Paula said no, that they were illegal here, but they had so many berries, which they shared with me, and also the hikers ahead of me. So that was some generous trail magic, because they must have been out here for hours in the sun. Could it be? Is it real? Woohoo! It's true.
And it kind of disappeared. So
this is just like a memory that's coming back, and it's gonna.
Just leaving another trail magic. This is unbelievable. Even the hikers that are true nobos that have hiked 1,000 miles more than me all say we have never seen trail magic like this. So it's incredible. And Speed Goat actually said 100% chance of trail magic tomorrow. That's because her family is doing the trail magic. So we'll have another one before we head into Snoqualmie tomorrow. See you down trail. And a very big thank you to Frank and Quan for that great trail magic. All kinds of fresh fruit, ripe avocados, pastries, snack bars. It was incredible. Lots of drinks. Thanks again, Frank and Quan. Well, it's 5 o'clock, and I have a goal that is 6.5 miles ahead. I don't think the rest of the crew is going to go quite that far, but Happy and the brothers are ahead of me, so I might see them. But I have that goal for a couple of reasons, which you will see down trail. One reason is also I'll be that much closer to Snoqualmie, which is town day tomorrow. So I'm going to get some miles under me, and I'll see you down trail. Okay, I'm wrapping up day 137, and it's actually the next day. It was really late by the time I had my tent set up. It was dark. It was a big day, not just mileage and elevation. Did do over 22 miles, but that puts me in a good place for getting into town for my zero into Snoqualmie. Trail magic twice in the morning and then late afternoon again. What a surprise. It was, and the generosity of these gentlemen. All of them came from Seattle, which is not exactly in their backyard, over a couple hours drive to come out here and bless us. So that was really neat. And hitting the milestone of half the miles, I had to make my own little milestone marker since we jumped ahead to Washington. But I've now finished half the miles of the Pacific Crest Trail, which is it's kind of interesting because it's like, wow, we have that many more experiences and miles to do. But it just it seems like a lot, which it is. But then, of course, reflecting on that time in my life when I had the brain surgery, I tried to share that without crying, but I've never been able to do that. And I felt it very important to share that. God's love is amazing. And if there's anyone out there that says, well, I wanted to watch a hiking video. Well, God's love and that time in my life is a really big part of this hiker that you're watching. So anyway, that kind of wraps up day 137. Huge day. And I'm actually going to get going, and we're going to start working on 138. See you down trail.